minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Let's ride. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into.
Welcome to the Great Minds Podcast. This is Derrick.
This is Vaughn.
And we're here to discuss albums from 1999.
Great year.
Great year. I actually think 98 was probably the best year in the 90s. I think we had like what we had, Volume 1, we had X Joint, we had Nori, two X joints.
Nori, who else?
Nori, I think we got Capital Punishment came in 98. Trying to think of hold on, let me see something.
Yeah, word.
Trying to think I know that was the one one of the dopest years. Anyway, we decided to go with albums from 1999.
Yo, you had Criminal, you had Black Star. Capital Punishment, Hard Knock, Volume 2.
Volume 2, yeah.
Moment of Truth, Gangsta, 400 Degrees, yep. Still Standing, Goody Mob.
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill. Don Cartagena.
Yeah.
Joe. ELE, the first one, Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. That's arguably the best year for us, I would say. Definitely the best year in the 90s.
The Locks, Money, Power, Respect came out that year too. Earlier.
Yeah. Word. I was definitely a crazy year, but we chose 1999. What we also wanted to do, we wanted to get an album from each region. Yeah. Something that we may not necessarily like. One of the albums, I hadn't even listened to before, not in its entirety anyway.
Me neither.
I had another album that I thought I liked, and it wasn't good. When I went back to listen to it. All right, so how did you approach? Because we're talking about 22 years at this point. Yeah. How did you approach like listening to the album? So
basically, I took myself back to at that time, what was going on, what was the sound. Then I looked at it from a 22-year older mind frame to see how I like certain things. Mm-hmm. I kind of compared both of those two. So, and if it was like someone's first album, like, all right, let's see how that is. It's like a group project. You see how it introduced everybody, type of thing like that. So how about you?
Exactly the same, really. Because I tried to like it's not fair to completely fair to look at it just in 2021. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's evolved, things have gotten better, sounds have gotten better, styles, flows, whatever. But I try to put myself back into that time, think about what I was doing when I heard songs from certain, and then like part of it's like, do I ever want to hear this again? And a couple of the projects here, I would say yes. And we'll get into it, but a couple of the projects I felt like it made it worse. A couple of the projects gave me appreciation, like, yo, this album really got some joints on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So depending on what we were talking about. All right, so before we get into it, a couple albums that we're talking about are Chronic 2001, Dr. Dre's second album, Slim Shady LP. That would be
Eminem second.
That would be like our Midwest type of theme.
So the Eminem joint, just before you finish, the Eminem joint is his first major label release. He had one before that on like a regional scale, lower level. But.
Right. Murder Music, Mobb Deep, and then we had a Guerrilla Warfare, which was
Hot
Boys. So those are 4 we went to. Hot Boys represent the South. Obviously, we're trying to hit a little bit from every region. Try to keep the bias away and get a little bit of love to everybody. So
yeah, definitely.
All right. So we're gonna go Chronic 2001. Mm-hmm. I thought it was better. It was better than I remembered it being. I would give it a 7.5 actually.
Out of 10.
Yeah. So it was real solid for me. I want to say like the first 8 or 9 joints, like I just couldn't. I kept like, yo, this is on here.
Yeah.
Cause when you listen to certain things, like if you haven't heard albums for a while, like
You forget.
certain things I thought was on the Chronic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this album was dope, man. So still DRE. Just classic joint. You think about the pianos. I think was that Scott
Scott
Storch?
Storch. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scott
yeah,
Storch.
yeah, yeah. He a monster on those keys. So still DRE, some explosive. I text you. I think that's a top 15, 20 beat. And I say between that and Looney's, I got 5 on it. To me, it's probably like 2 of the most memorable beats, West Coast beats for sure. I'm sure there's a couple more, but like for me, that those 2 definitely stand out. And I just think about like being in college, listening to that one freshman year. You know what I'm
Freshman
saying?
year, yep.
Later in that year, I forgot the exact date it came out, but I do remember like
No, November 16th. So it was our first semester.
oh yeah. So first semester, I remember that vividly. Then you had the Watcher,
Yep.
which was another dope joint. I'm trying to, and it just made you wanna like really wanna. Now I see like what the hype was about Detox, right? Because like during that time, you remember that we're waiting for it, and then like after it doesn't come out for so long, like it's like it's 2020. We're like, oh, why is everybody always talking about Detox? And I'm just like, when you follow up the Chronic and you follow it up with that, and definitely got some classic joints on there, classic West Coast sounds. Exhibit was on there, had a dope verse, obviously
Yep.
Snoop, M. I think Dre obviously, he's not like a writer or whatever, but I think I don't know, I'm not sure who he used. I'm sure he used Eminem a little bit because you could tell
He
some
was
of the
everybody.
yeah,
Eminem, Royce was on there for a little bit, and
right.
all types of people we don't know about, but and few that we do.
Snoop,
Snoop.
I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't judge Dre like I judge a real MC. I just
Yeah.
kind of enjoy the music as it is. And dope, man. So I'm giving that a 7.5.
7.5. All right. So with the Chronic, all right. First of all, came out November 16th, 1999. It's an hour and 8 minutes, right? So doing some research on the album, right? So I factored this into as well, right? So it went 6 times platinum in the US, 5 times platinum in Canada, 4 times platinum in the UK, and I think like 1 time platinum, like platinum in like Hungary or something like that. It went like gold, all different regions, right? I thought it was like a classic album in all aspects, from production, sound, and everything, right? The album flows very well, even including with the skits. And this is this is like towards the end, early 2000s, when people stopped doing skits like that. So you would have like 22, 23 tracks, but like 5 would be skits. You know what I'm saying? So it played well. Every song for the most part could have really been a single. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? If you
definitely a
think
lot of
about
them
it.
for sure.
But the person that stood out to me on the album was Hitman. Hitman's on 10 of the 23 tracks on the album, and probably
Hmm.
wrote a little bit more, like for the Dre parts and stuff like that.
Right.
Possibly. I don't know that for sure, but I just think Dre had a hell of a year that year. And we'll go into why he did something else that happened that year too.
Right.
But to me, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Like
All
what
right.
like
All right. All right. So let me ask you this then. If you giving it a 10, and it's fine, we say all the time how day by day you could change views on music, right?
yeah.
If you had to redo your top 20, would that be in it?
Yeah.
Is it better than Chronic, you think?
Is it better than Chronic? Wow. The Chronic will always be above that because of the impact of it, because it's the first of its kind and what he did with that and it spawned all these different careers.
I mean, which album do you like better?
I like 2001 better.
Okay, because that's like the Illmatic It Was Written question, right?
Yeah, I like this better just because of, I think everyone was coming off on it, from Corrupt to Snoop, to M to like Exhibit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was coming up. Like Dre was able to put everything together that was perfect. He's like the first Khaled, right? So when Khaled puts people together, Khaled will grab, Lil Baby and so and this and that and put them together, right? I'm not saying he's on that level with Dre, But I'm saying as far as having an ear, who should be on what? You know what I'm saying? That's what Dre has. You have that. You have like, forgot about Dre. Again, explosive, the Watcher. And the Watcher, like you stated before, but there's a Watcher 2. We know with Hov, there's a
Hov,
Watcher,
yeah.
another Watcher. I think with Rakim is on one. I think it's 2. I'm not sure. Rakim's on one. Still Dre. What's the difference? There's so many songs that's on there. So I think it's a 10. Like, I can hear it every day. I heard it 3 times.
So where would it fall? Like,
this weekend.
What range would that fall in your top 20 if you had to redo it today?
It would probably fall between 10 and 20.
Okay.
Like the back half of it.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's why I'm just going back a little bit. That's why when we did our top 20, it's so hard to do, right?
Yeah.
So like I got a different appreciation to, this album, and I feel like I need to do more of this. You know what I'm saying?
Going back to certain albums and listening to them like that.
Right. And
Yeah,
I'm glad, I'm glad we decided to go with that one. So,
True.
so I'm gonna give it a 7.5 though. I think the back half of the album was kind of like,
wasn't as strong as the first.
Yeah. So I couldn't give it a 10, but it's certainly a legit album.
True. All right. Second one we'll look at. Let's look at the Slim Shady LP from Eminem. All right. Since we dealing with Dre, I figure we
no doubt
keep it with that, right? So this came out February 23rd, 1999. Again, we stated that was M's sophomore album, on first major label album. It's a little under an hour. So with this album, all right. So Dre had a hell of a year, right? So this album came out in February and Chronic came out in November of the same year, right? So with this album, went 5 times platinum in the US, 2 times in Canada. I'm pretty sure. I think it's probably diamond. I don't know. I think the Marshall Mathers LP went diamond.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure of that.
But my thing about this album is every generation has like a rebellious artist that speaks for that time, right? So, you look at like mid 90s, you say it was Pac, or early, you had NWA. And I think that Eminem fit a period in time. So when I look at this album, I remember when the album came out. So when that came out, it's a senior year in high school. And I couldn't stand the album at first because I hated My Name Is, right? But I had knew who Eminem was prior to that because of the Rap Olympics and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what was happening. Like, yo, why is he rapping like this? This is corny. I didn't really understand why. So I didn't understand about the Slim Shady, it was 2 different people. Like he had 2 different personalities pretty much. Like the whole D12 is really 6 individuals with 2 personalities, right? Split personality. So it makes it 12.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, listening to the album, just from everything, the lyrics is crazy. Even though his rap cadence is crazy, it's like undescribable. Like never heard anything like that. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you might not have been able to connect with his topics all the time, but it didn't matter because how he spit. You didn't care about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't care about, like he's talking about killing his mom or throwing his girls in his daughter's mother's in the trunk. You didn't care about that. The way he's putting it out there, and the beats was crazy. So he had quirky topics, but the lyrics were so on point, you didn't care, and the album is just perfect. It just flows. So, you got Guilty Conscience on there. My Name Is, again. I include that because that was the song that kind of it got your attention. Even though you might have hated the song and didn't like it, everyone was saying it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got Role Model. I pushed a bunch of songs on that album. And again, he had a few skits on there as well, taking shots at certain people. You can tell he was really trying to stand out and say, like, I'm not like one of these pop in sync guys.
Right.
And that's hard for a white rapper at the time because you didn't look like, really before them, popular white rapper. I'm not talking about like third base people like that. They were popular, but I'm not talking about on his.
Come on, Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice,
yeah. Vanilla Ice, he was the last one you saw like that. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely stood out. So, I mean, I gotta give this I give this a 9 out of 10. I give it a 9 out of 10. Like just listening to it again and again. And I heard each of these albums you're talking about, I heard twice except for one. One I only heard once.
Okay.
But this I heard twice. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm thinking about the thought process that I was when I first heard it too.
Right.
To go like, was he like, I never heard that before. And even to this day, 22 years later, his lyrics still stand out from that album.
Yeah. All right.
So I give him a 9 out of 10.
All right, I'm gonna be on the other side of this one. It's crazy because like I I thought going into this that I liked the album more than I did because I liked it when it was back then.
Out.
And again, it's a balancing act of like how I feel about it now versus how I felt about it then. Um, I mean, lyrics are on point. And it's cool to be the rebellious type, but I think it was now that I'm listening, I think it was overkill, right? So if he wanted to do the one song about his wife or one song about his mom's or whatever, that that's cool. I didn't yeah, I think it was too much. Like I think M is too dope of a lyricist to just pound those same topics, in my opinion. Like I think and that's why I really like the Marshall Mathers LP because he had a joint like Stan. Like Stan is one of my favorite Eminem songs. It's one of the dopest concept songs, rap songs. Like I don't know, like if you go on like stories and stuff like that, I got that. I don't know, top 15 with stories raps. And to this day, they're still using the word Stan.
Stan, yeah. And the thing that's crazy, I think that he had to go overkill.
Right.
Because of where he was coming from. So
no, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? It had to be shock value. It couldn't just be like a regular. If he was put like this, if he was just a good rapper, he wouldn't be where he was right now. Like
right.
he didn't hit his certain subject matters, no one would have cared.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it, but just judging it. And I like the couple songs. I only really like, let me see, like 3 songs off the hit now that I would go back and revisit. Guilty Conscious, one of them. Rock Bottom, I love.
Yeah.
I wish he had more joints like that on there. And then he had the joint with Royce Bad Meets Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I tried to balance like what it was like then, but like I never really related to the content even then.
Yeah.
I just liked it probably just being more immature at that time. You know what I'm saying? And thinking certain stuff was funny.
Yeah.
But I like much better what he did on the Eminem show and on Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers LP is probably his magnus opus, I guess you would say, whatever. That's like the perfect album right there that he put out.
So I thought it was gimmicky. I get why he did it. Like you said, he wasn't just going to stand out. I think if a black rapper tried to do something like that, it wouldn't have hit.
Nah, I think a black rapper wouldn't have had to do it.
Right.
Yeah, like I think it would have been like people have said before. Like I think Eminem, if Eminem was black, he'd be Redman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as like his style and his rap skills. So, but there wasn't a lot of white rappers. That was hot. That could really rap though. So that's the thing of M, like he could really rap. So people couldn't even say anything really crazy because they know he could rap. It's like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you really, if you dissed him, he will rip you.
Yeah, he's a battle rapper. Like so he wants you to say something. So
right.
It's like, but I get it though.
So
I'm gonna give it.
I'm gonna give this a 5, man.
5. Yikes.
5. I get it. I get it. I understand the project. And what he was saying within the concepts that I didn't love was still witty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It wasn't like he was like it all made sense and it all was like, very lyrical. But like I don't know. I guess I could say I didn't really like the content.
Yeah, and then revisiting it later. It sounds a little more childish.
Right. Like I said, I understand why I liked it then. But in his discography, I don't know. I wouldn't be very high. Marshall Mathers and Eminem show for me definitely 1 and 2. I would have to look at the rest of the albums.
See, Eminem show. See, I stopped listening to Eminem actually after Marshall Mathers LP. Eminem show, I listened to a little bit, but I didn't really like fall into it. It's like whatever with me.
And then I don't remember what album got Cinderella Man on there, but that joint go hard too.
Yeah, Cinderella Man is tough. I'm not sure which one it does too, but yeah, it's tough.
That's great for the gym, yo.
Yeah.
What album
got Dog on the hook?
Yeah, man. On what album got Till I Collapse on it?
Till I Collapse. Till I Collapse is with Nate though. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's the one with Nate though, right?
Yeah, you talking about Till I Collapse.
Cinderella Man's the other joint, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not even on the Marshall Mathers LP. It might be on the Eminem show.
I think it is it's on.
Yeah, it's on there. I'm looking at it. Yeah,
Yeah, that one's tough. Eminem show. Yeah,
because he also on that one he also had "Say What You Say" with Dr. Dre on there. Cleaning Out My Closet's on there.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's definitely some joints on the Eminem show. It's not as strong as Marshall Mathers, but he definitely got some joints on there.
The Marshall Mathers LP was slapping from the first song.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cinderella Man might be on Encore, maybe. I don't know. It's dope.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I ain't outside of those three
like
songs.
that.
Nah, outside of those three songs, I don't need to hear it, man.
Damn.
So that's gonna get a five for me.
Damn.
All right. So we got
it's on the Recovery.
I forgot about that album. What, Cinderella Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably a skim joint.
Word up. I'm telling you, like, yo, like, yo, all right. I ain't really on it like that.
Man, it's hard in rap, man. Like, you could get the first album off, right? And it's like, that's hard enough to do to start with. And then
you gonna say?
Depending on how hot that is, like the hotter it is, the harder it is to come back, right?
That's why you have ghostwriters.
Right.
That's why I truly believe anybody that's been hot for a long time, like at a certain pinnacle, I mean hot, scorching. I'm not talking about like whatever has ghostwriters, because you run out of things to write about. Like, I don't think you can, as times are changing, you can always remain like your thought process is not always going to win, right? So what was hot and now might not be hot in 2020 in 2029, right? And if you still putting out crazy tracks, I mean not albums, not one-offs, albums of work, you have to have ghostwriters. That's why with Drake has his stuff, like I don't even get mad like with that. Like he has to have that to be able to put out what he's putting out. And the people that don't have them, they fall off.
And as you start to get older too, it's like you need that younger person to maybe not necessarily pin your rhymes, but be like, nah, you gotta do something like this, or this how they feeling it now, or you gotta. There's certainly, I think there's certainly a different type of influence you have to embrace, or you sound like the dude with the baggy jeans on forever.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's why I think people get the word ghostwriter mixed up. I think they think it's someone actually penning their rhymes all the time. Like, yo, I got 32 bars right here for you. Here.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about though. I'm talking.
Sometimes it's like that though.
Well, sometimes it's get a whole rap notebook and somebody just give it to you.
Like, how you want me to say this word?
Word up. Like that? You want to do it like that? Yeah. But you have that, but there's also just the influence of people. Like if you sitting in there, if I was a rapper and I'm in the studio and I got everyone around me, and I'm rapping about something, I'm figuring something out, and you give me a word, I'm gonna give you a credit. Like I'm gonna be like, all right, boom. That to me, that's helping. That's help with writing. Like you don't gotta be like in the studio by yourself with your hat down. I gotta crack the top 100. Like, nah, right. ain't gonna work that way. If you are, you're gonna stress yourself out. Yeah.
Word up.
All
right. So next I'm gonna go with Guerrilla Warfare. Hot Boys joint. I had never heard this album. I heard songs from the album. I hadn't heard the album. I definitely liked it a lot better than I thought I would. And again, I tried to put myself in like their region, what they were attempting to do, what type of music people in that region were listening to at that time, because it now influences are like, you can't tell a North Carolina rapper from a New York rapper a lot of times. You could and I think the internet's kind of helped with that, as far as like you could just go and listen to something and be influenced by a style, whereas like before it was just like you only heard the people around you rapping for the most part, especially if you listen to the radio. Now that you could branch out, you could kind of like see what's dope or see what's hitting, or just hear style that you like or whatever, and just be influenced. But this is better than I think what Cash Money did. They did gave a huge boost to the South. We still have, I mean, we had Master P, obviously, people like that. But that, they gave them some competition, and they had like legit guys in this group, right? So you had Juvie, BG, young Lil Wayne, but like, on the ascension at that point. And then they had a dope in-house producer, you know what I'm saying? And we know when you have the same producer for an album, like it's usually cohesive, and it's usually ends up being a pretty good album. But I like We on Fire was a standout for me. I had Boys at War, I Feel. I forgot they had Hot Girl on there. You know what I'm saying?
Hot Girl, yeah.
And again, I put myself at a time where remembering seeing that video, remember like maybe it coming on at a party or whatever, things like that.
It was probably popping during our first semester, because it came out in the summer of '99.
Right.
So
that and then like Turk, you really don't hear about a lot.
That's my guy.
So I know I like the song About Whatever was a cool song. I think it was him on the whole song, if I'm not mistaken. But like, yeah, I mean Turk could come to eat dinner with me. I wouldn't know who he was to this day. You know what I'm saying? Outside of knowing his name. But the album was solid overall, man. I give it a 6.
6.
I give it a 6. I mean, when we first start reviewing it, I'm just like, I could see myself obviously liking a Wayne album better or a Juvie album better. So, once we picked this one, and really got to tap in, I gave it like a 6. Like I try to be as objective as possible.
True.
And I mean, I get it.
Yeah. All right. For me, this is like the first time I ever heard the album in its totality. So again, I stated it came out in July 27, 1999. It's a sophomore album. They had one before this. This is the sophomore one. It's a little bit over an hour. And again, with all these albums, I looked at to see, what they did on the charts, just to see
impact.
Just wanted to see that. So they did 1.5 mil, maybe a little more, I believe, but they did that. So I thought the production was very unique for that time too. So I think when you had like Southern rappers and you had certain things, the thing that made them stick out to me was that it was the accents. First of all, Master P, we all know how knew the whole New Orleans slang for the most part, but they were doing something a little different than what Master P and them were doing. Like, not saying better or worse, it was just different. It felt like what they were doing was like after Ice Cream Man for Master P, and you had About It, it got a little flashy. It got a little. Maybe it was the bad boy influence taking over everything as well. You had like the tanks and stuff, and you had like the shiny suits and them doing different things, right? Still making good music, but the Hot Boys, when they came out, they was just like gutter. Yeah. It was different. You know what I'm saying? So like you kind of like, even from the high with you and that, it was just different. Like it just looked different.
Like Master P never had a Manny Fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but he had Beats by the Pound though.
True.
He had Beats by the Pound, but like, and I was gonna get with Manny Fresh. Like what he was doing was just so unique. I think he paved the way for some of the Southern producers in the 2000s. Like he really paved that sound he was doing, and he had like the like the horns in it, and it was different. Like it wasn't the typical stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like the way the album flowed, and I like the way that it kind of showcased everybody in the crew. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was real dope that they showcased everybody. They had We on Fire. That the Hot Girl. Those are the biggest hits, but there was joints on there that you can listen to. And I was like, all right. I don't remember all the names of all the songs, might be right, but it had a good flow though. So I gave it a 7. And I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I was surprised I was even gonna give it a 7. I was listening to it like, yo, there's no way I'm gonna like this. Like just because trying to be objective and thinking, not really knowing what to expect. I know they had some songs. I know individually I like certain things. Like I like BG. I like certain things. I was like, all right, let me see how it sounds together. But while I listened to each of these albums, I just wanted to see how they flowed together. So I didn't skip any songs. So the thing is, I wanted to see like, all right, from song 1 to whatever, how did it flow? You might have some bumps in the road here and there, but if it was still consistent, like you can listen to it, that's kind of how I viewed it. So I gave it a 7. like a strong 7 for me. And I was surprised he gave it a 7. I thought him give it like a 6 or 5.
Being generous judge. You've been a generous judge today, man.
Yo, because I'm looking at it like this. I'm thinking about the region.
Right.
Like, so
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not like up north, we didn't really care about. It's funny you said about because the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like you can have you know where anybody was from. Like right now, you wouldn't know. Everyone wants to sound like Atlanta, no matter where you at. People in New York sound like they from Houston. People in Houston they from New York sometime.
Yep.
Everyone sounds like they from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? You got the drill rapping in Chicago.
And
you
New
got
York.
drill in New York now. Drill in London. Until you hear the accents, you don't know where they from. So this is back then. You could tell where someone was kind of from. So the fact that I try to put my mind in as like a Louisiana team, hearing that for the first time, like, yo, this is crazy. Or maybe that's for the first time for them, but because they live in it. But how I felt when I heard it, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know, I wouldn't at the time. I wouldn't have bought the album,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But I listened to it though, so I gave it.
Because at that time, it's like, yo, if you paying that $10, you don't even know what you get.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Like it's nothing worse than buying I can't drop the 10 and I get something I want to hear. I get like I don't want nobody in the bus, but I get like I can't even think of nobody, but you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta really know. I gotta know at least 5 joints before I buy the album.
Or you gotta know the art, or you gotta know the artist.
You gotta trust the artist. Like, yo, I trust what he's putting out or she's putting out. Yeah.
You might get something like my man CD you threw out the window.
Yeah, Frisbee.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, that joint was terrible. It was terrible.
That's the homie though?
That's the homie though, but it was bad, yeah. It was bad.
It had to, it couldn't stay in your whip no longer.
Joint right on the Garden State Parkway. Yo, I put a joint in my joint. It was like, yo, what is this? Yo, you crazy. That's the first time I do something out my window like that too. But I had to get out the car.
It's like you rather support whoever it is, give them the 10, and I just can't rock with it. But you my man, so I support you.
It's mad funny when people come to me trying to sell CDs. Like they don't do it as much as they used to, but like, you know, when you like someone try to stop and sell you something, I would just say like, yeah, I don't want the CD. I'll give you like $5. I'll give you $5. I'll give you 10. Like I don't want it because I ain't want to hear it. Like I'm gonna support the hustle you doing. I really don't want to hear the music.
Right. Like I ain't got the time for it.
I got the time for it. I'm probably never gonna play it, fam. Like yo, let's make both of us happy. You don't give me the CD, and I give you $10.
It's easier now with the internet though, because you could give somebody like within a minute, you know, for the most part, if something's worth listening to, right?
Yeah.
So you play it, you like, even if it's decent, you'll be like, all right, let me see what number 3 hitting for. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that was definitely the grind. All right,
so what we got? A 7. So I think now, last one. It's on me, right? Yeah. We're gonna go to Queens, man. That murder music, Mobb Deep.
What up, Don?
Word. Yo, so that came out April 27, 1999, yo. That was their 4th studio album, a little over an hour. It was 2 times platinum in the US, right? That's big numbers for them.
Oh,
you gotta think about what we know.
Rappers.
Yeah, it's street rappers going 2 times platinum is tough. So I don't know if this was their biggest album, but I think it might have been the album that was the furthest reach. It might have been. My thoughts on this, like during this time, man, like this is the time right before H&I-C came out. And it was, what's the other joint after
Infamy?
Murder Music? Infamy. All right. Between Murder Music, H&I-C, and Infamy, I think probably.
Nah, you forgot one in the middle.
Oh, what's in the middle?
Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth. No.
Hell on Earth. Hell on Earth is right after Infamous.
No. I said Murder Music.
Infamy.
Hell on Earth didn't come out in like no 2000 and something.
No, 96. It was before Murder Music.
Now I'm talking about from the Murder Music time frame to
Infamy.
To Infamy to H&I-C. I'm about to say about Prodigy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yo, Prodigy was actually had to be one of my top 3 rappers in that time period. From like that was like a 3 to 4 year run, 3 to 4 year run, pretty much, right? And during that time, I think Mobb Deep was probably a top 3, arguably a top 3 hip hop duo. Like this them too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I'm not
plus,
disagreeing about that.
Havoc on the beats. He holds all the beats on Mobb Deep, so you know there's gonna be some heat.
Right.
And he's spitting. Prodigy spitting. You know, on this album, again, Prodigy's lyrics are just ridiculous. The production, they match perfectly. Like I said, this is the beginning of Prodigy's run. And I think he was this big at Hove's apex too. So that's why when they had that little tit for tat thing they were doing, it wasn't like Hove was like squashing it. He was squashing for his money wise and like what he was doing, but not as far as lyrically. Like because like to me, Prodigy had like this unique ability to rap, but it sounded like he was talking to you.
Right. That's exactly it.
Exactly, and it was like you would hear him rap, even on Murder Music, you would hear it, and it's like, yo, he's talking. Like his rhyming is flowing, but it was a different type of style of rapping that I think people picked up on later.
Right.
To try to like mimic what he was doing. But as far as songs, yo, the album, yo, what's your poison with Cormega? I'm going out with Lil C's, Illustrious, the realest with Coogee Rap.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mine with Nas, one of the craziest verses ever. Right, crazy. But Adrenaline, but it's a quick story about Quiet Storm. The regular Quiet Storm and the remix. I like the regular one better. So before Quiet Storm dropped, it came out like in '98. It came out on DJ Clue's mixtape, and me and Angel listened to it, and Lewis, right? It came out on a DJ Clue mixtape, and it was called White Lines. It wasn't called Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm. So
when it came out, and people aren't familiar with White Lines because they used the sample from Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 for White Lines, right? Basically it's coke. Talking about sniffing coke, right? That's what it's about, right? Songs about that. So when we heard that, we were like, yo, all right, let's listen to it. And we heard it, but it sounded really raw. Like it was like a mixtape joint. We kept playing it over and over again on CD.
Same beat?
Whatever. Same beat. Everything was the same.
Yeah.
But it wasn't mastered. So a year comes out. I'm like, yo, White Lines, that's crazy, right? That's why we started getting on the Prodigy wave. Like, yeah, White Lines. We were always on Prodigy, but saying like he's one of our top rappers. I'm like, yo, White Lines is crazy. Then the album dropped, and I'm like, yo, where's White Lines? And I'm looking for White Lines. I'm like, yo, where's White Lines? I don't see it. And I didn't even realize it was called Quiet Storm.
Right.
So I'm sitting to listen to the album. I'm like, yo, oh, that's White Lines. And it's Quiet Storm. And then the one with Lil' Kim, the remix blew up bigger than the original. But the original is the remix is dope, but the original was crazy. Yo. So I always remember that White Lines track. The White Lines on the name of it, man. But I'll give it, yo, this is a 10 out of 10, yo.
Woo!
Like so hands down. That's
in your top 20 then.
Yeah, it was.
Where's that fit? What range is that in? 8 to 12?
If I'm not mistaken, it was still 10 to 12. I think it was still in the 10 to 12 range. Yo, that album was great. Like,
I'm not disagreeing. I'm about to speak my piece.
Yo, before we even did was pick this album to go, I was listening to it anyway. Like, I had heard it like a month ago. Just randomly grabbed the album, listened to it. So it was already in my title. Like when I went to go like save albums, it was already there. Yeah. Like listen to. So yeah, that album's crazy.
Yeah, before we decided to review this, I was listening to the Infamous. I was listening to that. I think that's their best album. Still.
Infamous joint with
everything.
Everything going.
Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah.
And then how you go from Survival of the Fittest right to Eye for Eye? Like, come on, man. Now Nas got a better verse on that than World Is Mine. Like his eye for an eye verse is up there with Verbal Intercourse, in my opinion. Verbal Intercourse got a slight edge.
Yo, isn't that joint GOD on that? I think it is, right?
I don't see it. But, Shook One's Part 2 on there, Cradle to the Grave. It's a lot of joints, but let me get the Murder Music, right?
Yeah.
So Murder, the thing I noticed is like, I think Havoc is just so slept on. Everybody talks about Prodigy. Everybody talks about Prodigy. Prodigy is dope, right? Yeah. I think Havoc out-rapped him on this album. I paid attention purposely because Havoc's flow has always been better, but like I think P's better, like lyrically. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's doing like the talking rap.
Yeah.
But I think on this album I enjoyed Havoc more. Both is dope. Both of them are underrated. Like I feel like I feel like Prodigy is never spoken about when you talk about. I don't want to say GOAT, but like,
He one of the best out of New York, man.
yeah, his body of work when you include HNIC and the Mob Deep discography, man. I mean, it's heavily underrated, right? So I always say Locks are my favorite group. Um, they ain't got better body of work than Mob Deep though.
Nah, nah.
I would say Mob Deep doesn't have a better album than We Are the Streets. But other than that, if you go back to back with them, they got the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth best albums. If you combine like both groups,
Both
like
groups, yeah.
they don't have number one, but they got 2 through 6.
It's because it's 6, so you gotta give
Like
him some.
it's like having the best player, right? But then
So you don't think they got a better album than We Are the Streets?
nah, We Are the Street top 5 for me. Still. So but yeah, so Streets Raised Me, Illustrious, Adrenaline, Quiet Storm, the original and the remix. I like the remix better. I just think
But was that the first time you heard Quiet
no,
Storm?
no,
Was
no,
from
no.
the album?
I
No,
loved
no.
I loved Quiet Storm the first time I heard it because I think on the album, I I don't know if I start loving it until it start coming on at parties though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
So
a quick question. So I'm saying, so the first time you heard Quiet Storm
it's
was
probably on the
when?
album. Was probably on the album then.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. That's probably why I think that you like the remix better, because the first one, when you first heard it, it didn't have the impact. It's the first time you hear it, then you hear the remix. It sounds crazier. Like it's just like the
Well,
impact of the remix with Lil
well,
Kim.
I'm pretty sure I did not hear it before the album, but like the original Quiet Storm is dope. I just think Lil Kim just took it to a whole different level, right? Um, I think you have a story with it, so to you, you
Exactly.
kind of hold it more dear to your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because of that, I just think like that's just one of the dopest remix, just like period. I don't know who wrote Kim verse. It was
She wrote it herself. What you talking about?
well, Biggie wasn't around. It was 99, unless that was like the last verse he wrote for her or something. Uh,
Before he passed, like not
yeah,
that long
man.
before you.
She went so crazy on that joint. It's just so many quotable lines she have just in that verse. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody, I bet you
Hot
like
damn, here you go, here I go again.
there was
Yeah,
there was a club song, right?
yeah, it's a club song after
and,
that.
and Joker's doing the hilltop.
He'll
You know
toe
what I'm
at
saying?
that.
So both of those is dope. And then you got It's Mine, which is crazy.
From the beat and everything.
Havoc did I think it was 15 beats, and the Alchemist did 2, and it was another guy, I can't remember what the other one is, but I think Havoc did like 15, Alchemist did 2, and another person did 1. Which I mean, we talk about rapper producers like I mean, Havoc's
Niggas
definitely
there.
he's there.
But the problem with not the problem, but why people will say that is that Have was only doing Mob Deep stuff. Have is not doing anything else. He's keeping it to the crew. Like so P's gonna get the best beats. Mob Deep's getting the best beats. Like he's not out there like other producers would be that can rap. You know what I
I,
mean?
I think he did though. I thought the same thing, right? I'm trying to see something
Like yeah,
now.
like what do you do that I don't know about or I
Yeah,
forgot?
let me see. And even like new stuff. Like he did 2 joints on Mac Wild's album. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think because somebody said like he got joints for 50. He got 50 Cent
Yeah,
stuff.
some when they signed, but see, that's later on though. That's when they signed to G Unit. He was doing that, but that for that
Raekwon.
run in the '90s, he wasn't giving beats to nobody
He did Back the F Up Part 2 for Onyx.
on the sneak.
Yeah. So I saw someone
Hold up.
he did Faith Evans, Heaven Only Knows. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying?
out
Like
there.
I
My
didn't
bad, Have.
I didn't know that until someone was saying like Have is not. Yo, he did
Yo,
he
Fed, he did Y from Jadakiss.
see? Not that one I do remember he did stuff on Capone Noriega. He did a joint for LL. It had Prodigy on it though. Obviously Murder Music, all that. He did a joint on Takal 2000. See, like the tweet was basically like, yo, he did Last Day on Life After Death with the Locks.
All right.
Put some
My
respect on
bad.
his name.
Yo, that's my man though.
He did Mike Geronimo Survival on Vendetta album. So I think what the tweet was, again, he did two joints on It Was Written. So like I was saying,
he got some credits now. Good.
Like I was saying, the tweet was saying like Havoc is so underrated as an MC producer. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like,
he did Juvenile Hell. I know he did that one for Conway. I know he did it. I could tell. So I thought he did, but you know.
So I saw that and I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, he only did Mobb Deep stuff, but like, yeah, he was in his bag, man.
On Life of Pablo joint too, for Famous and Real Friends.
He did both of those. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yo, it's what I'm looking at his joint right now. I'm saying he a part of it. But see, this is the thing though. Like, I'm not saying with anybody else, but with Kanye, what he'll do is he'll get something like from like if you have something that you like a sound,
right?
He'll take it. And it'll be like a new beat, but he'll give you that credit because you a part of that too. You know what I'm saying? So
remember Arsonist said, right?
What?
He said he did something on Bound 2. But he said I think he said he got like a plaque for it, but he never, the beat wasn't how like he would have done it.
Yeah, that's right.
But he was a part of that too. But yeah, Havoc heavily, I mean, you learn something new every day, right?
Word, like he out there.
Yeah. So Havoc was definitely in, and then on top of that, he did everything for Mobb Deep for the most part.
All right, so this is what I say about Havoc. He doesn't promote it that he's doing. Like he's not out there like, because you know he's like an old school producer, right? Like you don't. He doesn't care about being in videos and being here and talking on the tracks like crazy. He don't care about that. So he's like an old school producer that like be in the cut. Like you don't gotta know what I'm doing, just cut the check, which is great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're so used to the producer is out front.
Yep.
Like you know, DJ Khaled did it because he's in the damn video. And
he ain't even doing the beats.
He ain't doing the beat.
He just facilitated.
He's facilitating. My man's the best facilitator. He's like Chris Paul out there.
Yeah.
Yo, but like we used to seeing that. Like even Swiss doing his thing. We know it's him. You know what I'm saying? But like a guy like a guy like Diamond D, these producers that are doing stuff that
Large
we don't even know. Yeah, like Large Professor. We don't even know that they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you look at the credits. And who looks at credits anymore?
Exactly.
You don't have albums.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
what'd you give it?
Oh, I give it a 9, man.
Yeah, you give nobody a 10?
Nah, I mean a 10 is a classic to me. Like I don't think any of these are classic album, in my opinion. Like I can't give that a 10 and give Life After Death a 10. I can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's not as good.
Doesn't have to be, a classic doesn't have to be. It's different levels of being a classic.
Well, this is a classic 9.
Because you can have certain albums that just like, all right, it's a classic. It's different criteria for the classics, right? You gotta have a different range. That's how I look at it. Like if I look at everyone at the same range, like I'll never compare an album to whatever my number one album is, right? Because it would never match it.
Right.
But I mean it's still on a classic. I mean,
all right, that's fine. If you want to use the word class, I can't give any album a 10. Like a 10 for me just has to be flawless.
But yo, Life After Death isn't flawless.
To me, it is.
Yo, there's some flaws in the album. It's a classic album though, but it's a flaw in there. Like the joint with with Lil Kim, I don't love.
That joint's hard, yo.
I don't love it. I'm saying it's like it ain't. It's cool. Like it ain't like.
That's for you though. That's for you. I'm talking about me. It's a 10 for me.
It's a 10 for you. So every song is great. Every song is classic. Every song. 24 songs on the album.
Like I don't play player hater, but I get what it's for.
No, but you cannot play and call it classic, right? You said it's a flawless album. So flawless means you put it on and you don't do anything and listen to it. Like you just like, yo, this is perfect. Like I'm letting this rip. I'm just gonna play the whole night. Like I don't care.
For a double album, if you could skip one, it's still flawless for a double.
So you can skip one.
Oh, the double album. Come
A
on,
double album. So if it's single, you just like, yo, I don't listen to Player Head at all. Like, I don't care about it. Like, yo, you still say it's a class. It's flawless.
you cannot count it when you got 24 songs.
But the Player Head that makes you respect, by someone kills you. Oh, I love it though. Like songs like that make you so it's a balance that's needed
Right.
on the album.
And it's a story.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I get that joint a 9, man. And Infamous might be like a 9.25 though. But yeah, so we gotta I think we gotta revisit, do another year.
Another year of what? Like top albums? No,
yeah.
no, you mean
I think we need to do this exercise again.
Yeah, pick another year.
With a different year. And I like the fact that the
later we get, the harder it will be to fully critique the album. Like, so if it's like 97 and lower, it's gonna get tough as we get older. Right. Because it's gonna change. Like, you're gonna go like, all right, you have your Biggie album, say you have your Pac album, say 96, right? 96 and up. Gets 95, you start telling me, yo, let's look at Ice Cube Death Certificate. I'm like, yo, fam, I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Right.
It's gonna be some beats that you don't want to hear.
But you know what? We're in 2021 now. 2006 is 15 years ago already.
Yo, but it was I ain't gonna front. You think about it, it was a lot of garbage coming out in 2006 or 5 or
I'm saying if you tap into it, because 2010, I mean 2000s is what? Yay.
Like the mid 2000s is Yay.
Yeah.
Nelly.
Ludacris.
M still falls into that.
Right. I'm trying to think who else is in
Jay has some stuff in there, right?
Right. But that's even like a little bit, that's like later Jay almost.
Yes, I'm saying it's like a different type of Jay. Nas has some stuff that came out during that time, right?
Right.
But I guess you could still say older Nas. I guess you can say
Lil Wayne was like a Lil Wayne.
I think that was Lil Wayne's run, right?
Yeah.
I'll be interested in hearing some I'm not a Lil Wayne fan like that, so I'll be interested in picking the year and hearing a Lil Wayne album, like the Card or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's interesting though. I like to see what people think about that.
Yeah, word. I'm looking at 2006. You got T.I., Lupe, Nas, Hip Hop Is Dead, Clips, The Game.
The Game. The Game I had that year though.
That was a game. Yeah, he dropped The Doctor's Advocate in that year.
See, I like the first one.
Documentary. Yeah.
Documentary would have been number one for me, but
Ross.
Yeah, yo.
Lloyd
I got
Banks.
that. I got that in the whip right now.
Yeah, Cam.
Port of Miami. Cam, yeah. Purple Haze?
Nah, we got what's that? Cam. Killer Season.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Season. You got
Cam with the movie.
Yeah, Killer Season. You got I was about to say Obi Trice.
Obi Trice got some stuff though.
Real name, no gimmicks.
Okay, it's twisted.
So, but yeah, interested to see what y'all do. But before y'all comment, make sure you check the particular album you gonna comment on. You know what I'm saying? Because
check the album out.
Yeah, I did a couple gym listens. That's the ones you could like really like zone in, and you're not really distracted. You could kind of bang it out that way. But
before we go, what was your favorite joint? Like the album that you heard was like, yeah, like
I really like. I knew I was really gonna like Mobb Deep, so I'm not gonna say that. But I would say I was most pleasantly surprised with The Chronic 2001. I remember I liked it, but like I listened to it again, I like really, really liked it. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say that'd be one for me too, because Mobb Deep was a gimme. It was that Chronic 2001 from the start. I was like, damn, like it was kind of thing. I was like, yo,
it's like 8 straight, like from the rip.
I was like, yo, this is on here. Like you said before, I was like, yo, this is nuts.
Right. So dope, man. Good exercise. Let us know some albums from some 98 that y'all was rocking. I mean 99 that I was rocking with, that y'all was rocking with, or whatever the case is, and maybe we'll do another year. one of these
Word.
episodes.
Or tell us a year we should do.
Yeah, I think it was dope because I would say 3 of these albums I probably would never even thought about listening. Now I got like Chronic 2000, 2001 like in my rotation now. Like that's something I'll play, not all the time, but like, a couple times a year now. You know what I'm saying?
But you get why it was what it was though.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So
For real.
well, yeah, thank y'all for watching. You can catch the Great Minds Podcast at the Great Minds Podcast on IG, at the Great Minds P1 on Twitter. And thank y'all for listening and watching. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Let's rock. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. 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 Derrick the Vaughn, old boy like Cam on the song. Culture safe now, thank God. The panic is gone. Time to heal from the pain. Take the bandages off. You gotta win. The stakes are high like a cannabis bomb. Okay, it's game time. Picture with the balls. That's a FaceTime. Great minds spreading faster than a rumor through the grapevine. Vaughn and Derrick deserve the merit. All salute. It's more than just a podcast. Shows like a movie. Vaughn and Derrick, what up? Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast.